Okay, good evening everyone. Hope you're all okay. As what we went through earlier, I did ask if anyone had any videos they wished me to do. So what actually came up was to do with spirit signs. One of the first things I like to get across when we start to discuss spirit signs is about making sure you're receiving the correct sign. It's so easy for us because we're all wanting so much to hear from our loved one's spirit side. We're so much wanting that guidance, that pushing us forward to know that one, that they're safe, one, that they're happy, and two, that things are able to move forward the way that they want us to and the way that we need them to. Because when we move forward after that passing, we are a representative of their life and what they gave to us. So when it does come to that sign, one thing I always ask is make sure that the sign you receive is one which is received in the truest of faith, not blind faith. Okay, so what I mean by that is there's so many different signs we can have out there. From the moment we turn the radio on and we hear that song which reminds us so much of our loved one which has took its transition to spirit, then we've got those other signs which we have that feather placed. But what I ask, especially when it comes to feathers, do not take every last feather as a direct sign from your loved one's spirit side, because it is about receiving that sign in faith, not blind faith. So what I always ask, I've got a bit of pen and paper here, okay? Very simply done. Yes. And no. It's very simple. We have two small circles and we ask that our loved one, who we really want to just know that they're around us, know that they're there supporting us, know that they're there giving us that strength, especially when times get really hard. We need to know that we're not on our own. One of the main things about mediumship and me giving you messages and your loved ones coming forward to give those messages is not about telling you what's coming up in the future. It's about letting you know that they're okay and letting you know that in this life, when everything feels like it's against you, you are not on your own. So we have two small circles, one saying yes and one saying no. What I ask is just ask your loved one to come through, say 12 o'clock, say lunchtime, and ask them, say, so if you're wanting to hear from Dad, say, Dad, right, if you're there, please give me that sign. And place the circles outside. And wait until you receive that sign, okay? Check the same time every day for a week. If you haven't received your answer, ask again. But it will give you your surefire way to receive that confirmation from Spirit. And it's a true sign from Spirit because you've took that blind faith out of the equation and you just have that direct faith connection there. Okay, sometimes I've done this before and it does work. The only time I pass on something to be done is if I know it works. So with this, sometimes I've had a cat sat in one of the circles. I've even had a frog sat in one of the circles. I've also had that feather and that direct communication from your loved one's spirit side by placing that sign there. So even when you're going to sleep, this is another thing just to remember. During 12 o'clock to around 3 o'clock, some people class it as spirit hours, some people class it as witching hours. But one thing you need to remember is when those veils between the spirit world and our world are at their thinnest. So at that point, especially when you're about to take your step into that dream state, why your subconscious becomes more alert than your conscious mind. That's when your loved one's spirit side no longer require the presence of a medium, but can speak to you directly. Because of how small that veil becomes, they can start to communicate with you. So when you're about to go to sleep, you always need to make sure, especially if you're really waiting to receive that message from your loved one's spirit side. What happens so many times, so keep yourself a pen and a piece of paper by the side of the bed. You'll wake up and you'll have this random dream which sometimes makes absolutely no sense to you. Write it down straight away. Don't go back to sleep. Write it down straight away. The moment you write that down, go back to sleep after that point. But then in the morning, go back over that dream. There'll be certain parts within inside that. Sometimes it'll be a little bit obscure in places. Sometimes you will have to dream analysis it. But you will get that information where Spirit's trying their hardest to give you that true sign that they're with you. To give you that sign that they've been there comforting you whilst you've been taking that rest. Especially if you went through so much in your life on that day to day. Make sure you're looking out for those signs. Look out for the fact that you will just drive down the road, and what's quite amusing is, especially when I'm thinking of my grandfather, okay, and I'll be driving down the road and it's like I'll see his name on every truck, every road sign, everything, even to points where I'll look in a window and I'll just see him in the corner of my eye stood behind me. So just be aware when you're looking, when you're waiting to receive that sign's going to be there for you, but make sure you have it in faith. Do not go down the road of blind faith, okay? Especially when it comes to bird signs as well, okay? You need to be a little bit more realistic. I hear so many times that, oh, Dad came through today, he was a robin, he was sat on that fence. Without bringing sadness to you, I need to make you realise that the robin was not your father. The robin wasn't mum, dad, granddad or anyone else like that. When that energy of spirit is around you, you have to think that we all carry our loved ones with us. They are so close to us, and the sadness for me is not everyone's able to see and sense them like I can. But know that when they're around and that energy of theirs is so strongly around you, that energy pulls the birds, the robins, the insects, the butterflies, all to you. So just remember, it's not them possessing the bird, but the bird being drawn to the love of them. Okay? So hopefully these couple of little tips would help you realise when your loved ones are close. But the best thing to do when you want that confirmation is it mum, dad, nan, granddad coming around you, making you, or just giving you that reassurance that it's them. Draw your couple of circles. Put your prayers up to your loved one's spirit side. By prayer, I don't mean getting on your hands and knees and going, oh, come on, come on, come on. That's not a prayer. A prayer is you talking with love. And the moment you're talking to your loved one's spirit side, that's the only way you can talk. So just talk to them the way you normally would, as if you just passed them in the street. Know that they're with you. Know that they're there for your support. And just speak to them, put your prayers to them, and ask them to give you that sign. And they will confirm to you quicker than I can that you are loved and that they are with you.